Hey guys, it's your girl just Tandy. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time visiting, welcome. I hope you do stick around, and you guys can do that for me by simply subscribing to my channel. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, as I said. You know what it is already. Anyway guys, judging from the title of this video, I've got a very traumatic story time that I would like to share with you guys. So I suggest that you grab for something to drink, because honey, this is gonna be a journey. Judging from the title of this video, I've got a story time for you guys today. I've decided that I'm going to do a story time every month, so always expect something at least, every month from me. Anyway, this story time today, I'm not excited to tell it, but at the same time, I feel like there's a very strong message behind my experience, and I definitely would like to share it, Anyway, let's crack on and get straight in. This story time is based in Guyana. So for 2019, I decided to go to Guyana for Guyana Carnival, which I must say, I have to definitely shout out to the Guyana Carnival team. You guys have put on for the past, 2 years that they've had it. The year that I went, I had a phenomenal time. And yeah, I just want to say shout out to them. I had a great time. I was really looking forward to it last year and this year, but our lives are more important. Anyway, so for 2019, I decided that I'm going to take my friends to my homeland. Now, my 2 friends that I took to Guyana that year, they are from London, but their backgrounds are St. Lucian and Jamaican. So me bringing them to my homeland was like the best thing ever for me. So let's crack on to the nitty-gritty stuff. So like I said, before the whole showdown, we were having a phenomenal time, like a great time. The parties were amazing. The events were just everything and more. Like, I can't remember a day we were sober before. Anyway, so I've written down in order of how the story kind of went, so I don't leave out anything for you guys. So let's talk about the day before the showdown. I'm just gonna call it the showdown. Actually, no, that sounds like the robbery. Let's just call a spade a spade. So the night before the robbery, not even a night, the day before the robbery, I actually had a dream. And I know this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but I think I am kind of like psychic in a weird way. I have dreams about things, like I have like very clear dreams that tells me things, or it's either I see the future, or my dreams just tells me things that are gonna happen. And I always listen to my dream because they've shown me time and time again that it's true what I'm dreaming. Anyway, in the morning I woke up. This is Sunday morning now. So no, this is not Sunday morning, was it? No, sorry, Monday morning. So it was a day after Carnival. So Carnival was the Sunday. So it was the Monday morning I woke up, and I was telling my friends, I was like telling her that I had a dream, and the dream was basically of myself laying in the room that we were staying in, and while I was sleeping in the dream, I heard like weird footsteps outside of the window. So I heard the footsteps, and then shortly after, people were like jumping over the wall and stuff like that. So after that happened, I kind of like jumped up out of my sleep, and shortly after I told my friend about the dream. So when she heard it, she was just like, you and your dreams, like just ignore it. And I'm just like, yeah, cool, whatever. And yeah, we just cracked on. We enjoyed the day. I had forgotten about the dream, and the rest was history. So it was the final party of the carnival season that happened Monday, and I remember we all went out. It was a bomb-ass night. Like, the night was just lit. Anyway, after that party finished around 12 o'clock, everyone still had energy, so everyone pretty much wanted to go out. So when I say everyone, let me tell you who was there. So it was my 2 friends from London, my uncle that lives in the house that we stay in, 2 of my friends. One of them, he was the driver, and one of them, he's like a childhood friend. Sorry, 2 of my childhood friends was also there. Was it? Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, 2 of my childhood friends was also there with me. So they were all like, oh, let's go to the strip, let's go to the strip. So the strip is like a place filled with bars and clubs and just chill out spots. So for like my Londoners, it's a bit like Shoreditch. Yeah, it's basically like the Shoreditch of Guyana. Anyway, so we went there, and I remember we went to a club at first, and then we just went out to the chill bit. Like, we was just like trying whatever is there. Anyway, now I would say this probably is around 1:30. I started to develop like negative butterflies in my tummy. So you know when something is either gonna happen or has happened and I haven't found out, that feeling that you usually have where your instincts kind of kicks in to let you know. That began. So I was just wondering, I was just like, I wonder what that is. And my first thought would always go to my mom, because I'm always like, oh, okay, I hope that my mom's fine. So I remember saying to myself, once I get in, I'm gonna call her and make sure that she's good. So the feeling was there, and it's like, it was just getting worse and worse. And I was just like, what is it? I couldn't figure out what it was. So I remember I went to my friends and I was like, oh guys, like I think I'm feeling a bit tired, can we go? But they were having fun and they were just like, oh, give us like half an hour more. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sat down and it was like getting worse. And I was just like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, what is this? So I went back again to them and I was like, guys, I really want to go now. So everyone was like, oh, cool, let's go, innit? I was like the grandma for the night. It's cool. I'm happy I was. So I was like the grandma for the night. So everyone had agreed, like, okay, let's go, let's leave. So as we got into the car now, like I said, my friend, he was also, that was there with us, he was the one driving. So as I got in the car, we all fell asleep. Like me and my friends, we fell asleep in the back of the car. And we were probably about 20 minutes drive from the house that we were staying in. So as we were approaching my house now, I woke up. My friends were still sleeping. So it's just me, my uncle was awake, and the driver. So as we were pulling up to the house, like the butterflies that I've been feeling all night, it started to increase. And I was just like, what is this feeling? Like, what is it? Like, I just didn't get it. And now we're like now in front of my house, and I remember I looked up, and the first thing I noticed was my kitchen lights was on. And how I noticed that was because before we left to go to the party, I was over at my neighbor's, because my neighbor has a shop, and they were already waiting outside in the car. So I remember them rushing me. They was like, Tandy, like, hurry up. So when I was like, huh? Oh, you guys are waiting for me, because I wasn't aware that the driver was already there. So when I was like walking towards the car, I remember seeing my house pitch black. So, you know, I'm just like, I'm sure the kitchen, every light that was in the house was off. So I'm there like sitting in the car, and I'm like deep in it. I'm just like, what's going on? Like, how much did I have to drink? So I looked at the light now, and I looked up again, and I swear to you guys, I saw a silhouette of a guy in the window. But at that time, my uncle had already stepped out of the car. So I was like, maybe that was my uncle's shadow I saw. But it didn't make sense, because the window was here and my uncle was coming there. So I was thinking, how would I was trying to make sense out of nonsense, basically. So he was walking in now, and my friends woke up and they got out the car as well. So I don't know what happened, but I just froze. I froze. I was just still, I couldn't move. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't move. So my uncle went in, my friends followed, and my friend turned around actually, and she was like, Tandy, get out of the man's car now. Like, she cracked a joke, and I was just like, okay. I stood out the car, I locked the door, but I just stood like bracing the car, like I literally just couldn't move. And I'm just like, what is this feeling? Like, I couldn't explain it, guys. I couldn't explain it. Anyway, my uncle opened the door, and all I heard him say was, Tandy, did you leave the back door open? I was like, what? I was like, no. And then I heard him say, someone was in the house. When he said that, I promise you, it's like my senses slowly became, it was slowly coming back. You know, my senses was coming back now, and I'm just like, okay. And what I just saw was definitely what I saw. I saw someone in the house. So he's now opened the door fully, because we've got like two doors to get in. So he's opened the second door, walked in now, and I can hear him like in shock. He was like, no, someone was in here. Like, I can hear him. So while he was walking into the house now, I was still stood outside. So I quickly told the driver, I was like, can you go in and just like see what's going on? I'm too scared to go in. So my uncle, my two friends, and now the guy is in there. I still stood outside. Guys, I was still frozen. I did not move from that spot. I was frozen. So I'm standing out there for about 2 minutes now. And so let's say my house is here. All I saw was someone at the side of the house in a grey hoodie looked at me like this. And he saw that I'm still out there and hopped back in. Like, just pulled himself back in towards the wall. Guys, when I saw that, my heart dropped and I got into survival mode. I thought, hold on, this guy's gonna run in the house with a gun and he's gonna kill everyone in there. So I quickly thought, I was like, okay, I don't wanna alert him. Let me pretend that I'm just calling my friends to show them something. So I called my friend. I was like, yo, come outside. But I didn't say it in a panicky way. So they came outside and it was like, oh, like they're like now telling me like, oh, I think someone was in the house, da 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 da. So I'm just like, okay, like I'm remaining calm. And I was just like, come, like telling them. At this point I had walked to the opposite side of the car now. So I'm not like facing direct contact with the person where they could just shoot me from a distance or something. So I'm behind the car now. My friends came and they followed me. And I was like to them, on the count of 3, run to your left. So I counted to 3 and we ran and we started screaming. So they didn't even know at this point why we were running. So one of my neighbors heard us screaming and he came outside and took us in. So when we went into the neighbor's compound, I told them that I just saw someone at the side of the house in a grey hoodie. So they were just like, oh, your uncle and your neighbor is still in there. I was like, I know. So I was now trying to go back out to go and like get them. And then the neighbor was kind of stopping me. He's like, don't go, you can get hurt. And I'm like, my uncle's in the house. I need to make sure that my uncle's good. Like, I'm going back for my uncle, innit? So as he kept stopping me from going, he was just like, no, don't do it. So I don't know why I thought to call my mom instead of calling the police. Bearing in mind, my mom is still in London, you know. So I called my mom and I went like, Mom, we came home and there was robbers in the house. My mom literally just started bawling. I'm like, oh God, this isn't a good idea. I need moral support, not tears, you know. And my mom was just crying. I was like, okay, Mom, I'm gonna have to call you back. Let me just like, you know, like, yeah, get help. So I came out now and I walked towards my house. Like, I left my friends there. I'm like, guys, stay here. I'm gonna be back. So I walked towards my house, and as I was walking, I heard 2 gunshots went off. Once we heard that, I was like, shit, my uncle and my friend is in there.